erased anywhere where it's published. In the beginning of the structure of society, they were subject to brutal and blind force. Afterwards, to law, which is the same force, only disguised. I draw the conclusion that by the law of nature, right lies in force. As if any Jew even thinks such a thing, right lies in force. It's just, I mean, it's just pathetic stuff. This is just like outlandish. You know, political freedom is an idea, but not a fact. This idea one must know how to apply whenever it appears necessary with this bait of an idea to attract the masses. The Jews, as socialists and fighting for political freedom, are baiting the masses. Whenever it appears necessary with this bait of an idea to attract the mass of people to one's party for the purpose of crushing another who is in authority. This stuff is so horrendous and so maniacal that one wonders why anyone could take it seriously. Yet in Germany it was published as the last word of the Zionist plot, and it's still being published all over the world except in the West. And it was proved by an English writer in the 20s to be a forgery based on this, I don't know, anti-Napoleon, the third text. In our day, the power which was replaced that of the rulers who were liberal is the power of gold. Time was when faith ruled. The idea of freedom is impossible realization because no one knows how to use it with moderation. It's enough to hand over. This is supposed to be the elders of the Jews talking among themselves. This is like so scurrilous, it's frightening. Anyway, you can read most of this rubbish yourself. Try Mein Kampf if you want to read equal rubbish. I mean, no, it's worth reading. I have 2 copies of it in my house. You know, I mean, it's just incredible stuff. It's enough to hand over people to self-government for a certain length of time for that people to be turned into a disorganized mob. That's what's happening in Iraq perhaps today. From that moment on, we get an internecine strife which soon develops into battles between the classes, in the midst of which states burn down and their importance is reduced to that of a heap of ashes. So yeah, the Tsarist police would like this because they can say this is what the socialists are trying to do, and they can make it out that the socialists are all run by Jewish people, and this is their plot to reduce the societies that we represent, the old conservative societies of Europe, to a heap of ashes. Next page, 87, just take a few more excerpts. Out of the temporary evil we are now compelled to commit will emerge the good of an unshakable rule, which will restore the regular course of the machinery of the national life brought to naught by liberalism. The result justifies the means. Well, this is like Nazism, not anything to do with that Jews know, that Jews think about or are involved in. I've never heard any Jew talk like this in my entire life. Let's see. 87 at the bottom. It's only with a despotic ruler that plans can be elaborated extensively and clear in such a way as to distribute the whole properly among the several parts of the machinery of the state. Without absolute despotism, there can be no existence of civilization. I've never heard a Jew talk like this in my entire life. And it goes on like that. This is more like Stalin. The mob is a savage and displays its savagery at every opportunity. The moment the mob seizes freedom in its hands, it quickly turns to anarchy. This is against the French Revolution here, which is why it was originally a Napoleon III text, which in itself is the highest degree of savagery. Behold, the alcoholized animals bemused with drink, the right to an immoderate use of which comes along with freedom. It is not for us and ours to walk that road. The peoples of the Goyim are bemused with alcohol liquors. Their youth has grown stupid on anyway, it goes on. Our countersign is force and make-believe. Our state marching on the path of peaceful conquest. The would-be wise men 89 of the Goyim, the intellectuals, could not make anything out of the uttered words of their abstractness. So anyway, it goes on like that. Finally, in all corners of the earth, the words liberty, equality, fraternity, 89 in the middle of the page, brought to our ranks, thanks to our blind agents, whole legions who bore our banners with enthusiasm. So the French Revolution is blamed on the Jews here. That's the leitmotif of the French Revolution. And all the time these words were cankerworms at work boring into the well-being of the Goyim, putting an end everywhere. So it's against the revolution in France. As you will see later, this helped us in our triumph. Well, anyway. 90, top. The abstraction of freedom has enabled us to persuade the mob in all countries that their government is nothing. This is when the socialists were working the lower classes up And so basically they were trying to turn the masses against the socialists. The socialists were trying to use the masses, so they made it into a Jew-baiting document. And this is supposed to be the Jews meeting among themselves. Protocol 2, it goes on, I'm sure. I haven't seen the whole thing, and I don't even want to see much more of it. It's indispensable for our purpose that war, so far as possible, should not result in territorial gain. Well, yeah, that's right, we all agree with that. But these people want wars to result in territorial gain. The French, the Germans, and others in the 19th century. The Goyim are not guided by practical use of unprejudiced historical observation, but by theoretical routine without any critical regard for consequent results. Do not suppose for a moment that these statements are empty words. Think carefully of the successes we arranged for Darwinism, Marxism, Nietzscheism. To us Jews, at any rate, it should be plain to see what a disintegrating importance these directives have had on the minds of the Goyim. So this is after Darwin, and after they've added Nietzscheism in here, and Marxism. So the Jews are responsible for Darwinism and Nietzscheism. Finally, it is in the press that the triumph of freedom of speech finds its incarnation, but the Goyim states have not known how to make use of this force. The press, the Jewish control of the press. I thought Rupert Murdoch controlled the press now. I don't think that, who was that, Jane Fonda's husband, what was his name?
Ted Turner.
Yeah, Ted Turner, Rupert Murdoch. I don't know too many of these Jewish press barons. Maybe the mayor of New York, but he wasn't a big press baron. He had the financial sheet reporting, Bloomberg stock report. It's on television, it's one of the channels. Through the press we have gained the power to influence while remaining ourselves in the shade. Thanks to the press we've got the gold in our hands. Notwithstanding that we've had to gather it out of oceans of blood and tears, but has paid us, though we have sacrificed many of our people. Each victim on our side is worth in the sight of a Goyim, of God, 1,000 Goyim. Well, this is just total and complete rubbish. That's all I can tell you. And it doesn't deserve to be read, and yet it should be read. Because people should know what is out there circulating. And what goes on and what is still circulating. This goes through the whole Islamic world today. This is out there. They believe that this is what, the lovely, that was called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Probably the Zionist movement had already gotten started, and so they could, stick that on top of the thing as a secret plot by the Jews to take over the world. Okay, now we come to the real